What up, YouTube Alayx, coming back at you with another StarCraft 2 cast. On the top left-hand side of the map, we have our red Protoss player Fenring, and on the bottom right-hand side of the map, we have our blue Zerg player EOS. This is going to be a Platinum versus Gold level game, Fenring being our Gold level player and EOS being our Platinum level player, although I've cast a few of Fenring's games in the past, and I know he's a higher level than gold, but per this loading screen, he is a gold level player, but I know he's not typically a gold level player, so we'll see what these guys have in store for us today. We have what is going to be a gateway first. I wonder if this is going to be a gateway into Nexus. That's usually what we see, but no, we actually see what is going to be a double gateway opener from Fenring. I wonder if this is going to be some sort of cheese. Normally in PvZs, what you want to do as a Protoss player is get a fast Nexus just so you can match the economy of your enemy Zerg player. And Fenring will see that this is going to be a hatchery first coming out of EOS right now. He did spot, I'm assuming he spotted that there's no spawning pool just yet and sees that it is a relatively fast hatchery right here. And Fenring doing some heavy lifting with this probe. He's like, man, all right, whatever you say, boss. If you want me to do some attacking right here, I can do that, but normally I mine minerals. But ultimately, this probe getting chased away by the drone, and now we have what is going to be on the production tab here. We see a cybernetics core and another pylon. So Fenring really going for the tech right here. This is very atypical, and we have what is going to be the Zealot right here as well, and I don't think this is quite a full wall. EOS is going to notice this, though. He has the Scouting Overlord. He's going to see that there is no expansion in the natural base. He's going to be like, what the hell is going on here? This is weird, and EOS, I'm right there with you. I have no idea what's happening right now. This probe is going to be throwing down a Stargate. EOS is going to notice this. I will expect him to throw down a couple Spore Crawlers in the mineral line to protect against what I think is going to be oracles coming out of this Stargate. This is such an early Stargate, and it's before the Nexus, which is very unusual. EOS, man, he's probably freaking out. He's like, okay, I see a Stargate, I see two gateways, and a cybernetics core, which, if he's cognizant, he will see is not researching Warp Gate, which is also very weird to me. But Fenring, he is going for a defensive play behind this. He's going for the shield battery. He's throwing down a lot of minerals that are not going into building a Nexus, and I'm triggered right now, man. Why aren't you building a Nexus? This Stalker, it will try, and guess what? We just saw that this is not a full wall. The Stalker, a bigger unit than the Zealot, can walk through right here. I would like to see the Stalker run down and wall this off. EOS should see that this is totally open. If he gets some speedlings, game over. There's nothing Fenring could do about that. He doesn't have a lot of defense outside of what is going to be a shield battery and 2 army units. He's got 4 army supply right now. EOS has 11 army supply. Some of that I think is going to be Queens though. So, but taking a look at the production tab, we still see EOS is happily doing his Zergly duties. He's building the Roach Warren. He's going through with a build. He's not even bothering to get a Hydralisk Den, which is what I would do in a situation like this. And we don't see an Oracle coming out of here. And actually, we see a Fleet Beacon, which I missed. I should have looked at the production tab. Oh my god. We have what is going to be a Fleet Beacon. Are we going to see a Mothership? Is this a Mothership rush or maybe fast carriers? I was wrong. I thought this was going to be an Oracle. We finally have the Nexus coming down. It's not even halfway finished though, and we have what is going to be a carrier coming out of this Stargate right here at 4 minutes into the game. This is a carrier rush, ladies and gentlemen. This is a very fast carrier. This defies all logic of what we understand in StarCraft 2 right now. And this makes sense. It makes sense that EOS isn't reacting as if he'd be seeing carriers, because logically we do not see carriers before, I want to say, 10 minutes into the game at the earliest. These are a hard late game unit, and we see carriers. Oh my god. I'm freaking out right now. You guys can't see me, but I am trembling. Man, EOS doing exactly what I would have done as a Zerg player. I'd be like, okay, we're probably going to see some oracles, so I'm going to throw down a couple blind spore crawlers and absolutely shut that down. Oh no. Oh man, I'm coughing. I'm so triggered right now. But dude, we still don't see what is going to be a warp gate right here. We have what is a fake Phoenix. Great use of this fake Phoenix, allowing vision on this hidden overlord right here, and will protect Fenring from some scouting right here. So these carriers are in the dark. They are not being scouted, and they are questioning their existence. They're like, man, why are we here? What is our purpose before 10 minutes into the game? What do you want us to do here, Fenring? What is going on? But Zerg, what I would love to see EOS do would be run up the ramp right here, check out the natural base, and notice that we don't have warp gates and it is not being researched, and we don't see an oracle. Those two red flags would tell me that we're seeing some sort of weird Stargate play, and we are indeed witnessing a weird Stargate play. This is going to be a carrier rush, and we have a bunch of probes queued up on this Nexus. That's too much. I like to have about 2 probes. That saves you a little bit of minerals, because having that many probes in the queue, those minerals are spent, and you're not going to see those probes super early. But EOS does spot the carriers. They are no longer in the dark, and I would love to see a reaction out of this. And we do immediately see what is going to be a spire. Oh, here it is. Here's the spire. So it was right in front of my face. We have a spire right here being built for the Zerg players. So this is exactly how you want to react. Corruptors are a very good hard counter to massive capital ship units, including battle cruisers for the Terran and carriers for the Protoss. And we see what is also going to be a mothership coming out of this Nexus right here. So Fenring going for the full Sky Toss play, doesn't even bother getting warp gate. He's researching +1 sky weapons. I think this is his entire ground army right now. And we see the spire. It's almost done. And I expect that we're going to see nothing but Corruptors coming out of Zerg for the time being. He is expanding quite a bit. He does have what is his little typical ground army. He's like, this is what Zerg always does. Roach, Ling, and we push at, 8 or 10 minutes, and is great. Not today. Not today, EOS. Today, we are seeing something totally outrageous, which is going to be fast carriers. We still have the 1 Stargate. This Stargate finally finishing up. We have what is going to be a 3rd Nexus on the way, but it's not even done yet. So he's going to be hurting for economy right now. Carriers are not a cheap unit. I know it might be a spoiler. I know some people might not realize this, but carriers, they're expensive. They're expensive as hell. So man, we might see a force cancel on this Nexus, though. This is a lot of Lings. This is a lot of pressure right here on this 3rd base. And man, that was a crazy explosion. I wonder if that's part of the skin that Fenring has on his Protoss units right here, because I feel like it normally doesn't have that nuke-like shockwave. Crazy. We see a couple changelings right here. They're running into the main base of the Protoss player. EOS, you're in. They have no idea. Fenring has no idea that these aren't real zealots. Run into the base. See what's going on. I mean, I know you know what's going on, but this is going to be carriers right here, and we have what is a handful of Corruptors right here, but it's not enough. And I think EOS realizes this and wants to run back and stockpile a few more Corruptors before he can do some serious damage, because 3 Corruptors versus 1 mothership and 3 carriers is just not enough. Corruptors are a very good unit, but you need a lot more than just 3 Corruptors to deal with the composition that we're witnessing right here. And I think this 3rd hatchery might go down, or sorry, this is the 4th hatchery. Might go down. Fenring, don't leave it alive. Don't leave it alive. Run it back. This hatchery surviving. Against all odds, surviving. Fenring, I think, is going for blood right here, but now we have what is going to be a decent amount of Corruptors. They are able to snipe that mothership, and they are forcing the retreat on these carriers right here. As I would be flying away, I would just quickly right-click that and kill it and then keep running away. We do see what is going to be a mass recall here. So, against all odds, this hatchery survives the onslaught of the Golden Armada. In this case, it's more like the off gray Armada, but man, I love that skin. These ancient looking carriers, so cool. We see what is going to be a push right here, but we have a lot more carriers back home, and it will force these Corruptors to run away. I do like that EOS has a lot of overseers right here, adding some redundancy. So if you lose one overseer and you're dealing with a mothership, well, you have a few more overseers to give sight on the invisible army. We have what is going to be another mothership on the way. It's not quite halfway there. It's about a quarter of the way done. We have what is going to be 3 Stargates. We have one more carrier on the way. We actually have 2 more carriers on the way. Fenring re-upping this 3rd base. He really needs it if he wants to keep supplying this Skytoss army, because Skytoss, man, is so expensive. Normally, I think the golden number of bases, if you're going for a pure carrier army, I want to say is going to be 3 bases. And I see what is going to be another Spire on the way. So I think this is exactly what I was thinking. This is going to be for Sky upgrades, which is exactly what EOS wants if he wants to keep up with the Skytoss play. And he's going for the Infestation Pit, so he might go for Infestors and try to get Fungals on the Interceptors of the carriers. Because Interceptors are technically a separate unit that are built inside of the carrier, you can kill them. If you get a Fungal on those Interceptors, it slows them down, and it could kill them and render the carriers useless. And we have what is going to be a snipe on this Nexus here by these Corruptors, and I think Fenring will lose this Nexus. That's a pretty big pickup by EOS. He does lose, I think that was 3 Corruptors right there. But for an entire Nexus, an attempted run by here of Lings, and let me take a look at the workers killed. I think there was more workers right here. I think those Lings actually were able to do some damage right here. So 10 workers killed so far for the blue Zerg player. This mothership doing a little moon dance. It wants to go and hug its children. It's like, hey, everyone's going to be under my invisibility cloak right here. I think this mothership is in danger, though. This is a lot of Corruptors. These Corruptors will be able to get the snipe, but this is a critical mass of carriers at this point. These Corruptors do go down, and this 4th hatchery, it should go down right now. There is not a lot that EOS has in response to this. We see 10 more Corruptors on the production tab, though, and they will be able to do a lot of damage to these carriers, but right now they're still in the process of hatching. We have one Zealot right here that wants to join the party. It's like, guys, I can do stuff too. I can do damage too, guys. Damn. But now we're reaching what I want to say is a critical mass of carriers. And what I mean by that critical mass term is, even if you have the hard counter to a unit such as carriers, in this case it would be Corruptors, if your opponent has a critical mass of carriers, their DPS is just going to be so tremendous that even with the hard counter unit, you may have trouble taking care of this army right here, and this is reaching that critical mass. I think with the critical mass of Corruptors, though, it would even out just a little bit, but right now this is really in favor of Fenring. We don't have enough Corruptors on the field. We have this Zealot trying to do some damage right here. I guess it decided to leave this evolution chamber alone. We have a good handful of Corruptors right here, though. In EOS's situation, what I would do instead of pushing out would just be effectively max out on Corruptors, take care of the carriers, morph some of those Corruptors into Broodlords, and start wreaking havoc on the Protoss bases, because Fenring is still only on 3 bases right now, and he's almost mined out of his main base, so effectively he's going to be on 2 bases, and even his natural base is mining out. So Fenring is going to need to expand right here, and if you can choke out the Protoss player and starve them of resources, you can win the game as long as you survive and don't overextend yourself right here. I really like what EOS is trying to do, snipe these Nexuses. Nexi, I suffer through this all the time in my cast. The plural of Nexuses, please leave me a comment and tell me how to say it. Is it Nexuses or is it Nexi? I don't know the plural. I can't. They both sound wrong to me. Anyway, So, what I was saying is, EOS, if he survives this game long enough, can effectively choke Fenring out. Fenring won't have the resources to keep this army up right here if he is able to take out the carriers, but Fenring is doing a good job at being aggressive and not allowing EOS to max out on Corruptors right here. So this is actually exactly what Fenring should be doing in this situation. If he's down in bases and knows it, just be aggressive. These carriers are not weak units by any means. And these Corruptors all get cleaned up. And as we can see, these Interceptors, there's so many of them. The DPS out of these carriers is insane. And we see the Mothership on the production tab is almost done as well. Fenring is just mowing through the bottom side of the map here, destroying Zerg base after Zerg base. He just put his opponent down to 2 hatcheries right now. We have 1 hatchery right here in progress, but it is now a 2-base Zerg against what is going to be technically a 3-base Protoss, but he's mined out. He's mined out of this base, but he is throwing down a 4th base right now. So Fenring, man, coming in with a Sky Toss. I know he's a fan of Sky Toss plays, and we're seeing it right now. These Corruptors may get a snipe on a couple of these carriers, but they're like, nope, not today. And Fenring throwing the Manor GG at his opponent. We'll see if EOS has a response to this. Trying to do a run by here with some Zerglings, but there's a lot of cannons right here, and they're cloaked, and there is no Overseer. So those were cloaked cannons. Those Zerglings just melted to those cannons right there and poking the bear. This this Mothership got angry. It's like, why would you go to this Nexus here, man? And Fenring moving out with that Mothership, but ultimately EOS throwing back the GG, being a good sport about that, even though he was Manor GG'd. So wild game. If you guys enjoyed what you saw, please consider shooting me a like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you want me to cast any of your own games, I will leave my email in the description below. And I'll see you guys on the next one.